I have literally just watched season 1, episode 1 of the Robin Hood 2025. Oh my gosh! I did a reaction video of the trailer, and I was quite scathing in it, I suppose you might say. The trailer was just awful, and I think looking back, the trailer really kind of gave you reasons to doubt it, because the trailer was edited in such a way. It's like a modern trailer, and it's quick cuts, and it's quick cuts to slow motion, and a quick cut to like normal speed, and and it's like Sean Bean's face and this other actor's face, and it's just a typical, it's almost like copy and paste format of making a trailer. And I thought I should actually watch the film, the TV series. So I've just watched it, season 1, episode 1. It's called I See Him or something. I don't know why I See Him is the thing. Not really too sure. Because they have the whole thing of like, oh, it's rude to stare, Robin, and which I thought as well when they did say that line. Oh, it's rude to stare in my culture. I was like, it's not. It's rude not to. I thought that was going to be so convoluted and just forced. But they have this nice thing with Marion and Robin. It's the slow burn. It's not like he sees her from afar, she sees him from afar, and they just happen to fall in love like on their own accord. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, which is a quote from another Robin Hood adaptation. But it's nice. It's like a bit of a slow burn. They do meet each other when they're young, and then they grow up, and they sort of know each other and recognize each other. She's actually the daughter of the Lord that's dispossessed Robin's dad. So it's like, ooh, another layer of tension, because, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but, her dad doesn't like Robin's dad, but Robin's dad dies, and will they find out that maybe her dad had something to do with it? But who knows? I was so impressed. I think I said something about where's the other references to folk, British folkiness, folk stories and things. They start talking about Godda and this Errol or Eric or someone, and he marries her, and they gallop away into the forest, and he's sort of an outlaw as well. They mention that, and the father's telling Robin that, and then I was like, God, that sounds familiar. Like maybe I'm thinking like Waiting for Godot, but I'm pretty sure I've heard around the Wiccan and Celtic circles. But Godot is actually a Mercian goddess. I'm not sure if we could say goddess. I think I've seen a couple of things that are saying goddess, but I'm not sure we could use like the word goddess because it's people might think like Athena or something. So even when I was doing my reaction video, I really wanted there to be more folklore stuff in there, more folklore, maybe witchcraft or druidry or something. And then suddenly Robin's dad is telling Robin about this goddess called Godda, who's from Mercia, who's from the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of Mercia, which existed way before the Norman conquest, a few hundred years before the Norman conquest, but we might get into that as well, because there's something else I need to talk about. So it's there. And the show, I'm sort of in odds a little bit about it, but it's nice because they're sort of setting it up for the forest to have this elemental overshadowing feeling, this presence. And the way they're setting it up with these old gods that people are meant to be believing in, the Saxons, the underclass of this time, it's embodied in the forest, and you're starting to see the forest kind of wake up a little bit. So I think later on, when people go looking for Robin Hood and his merry men in the forest, they're going to be like, this forest is haunted, right? There's something in this forest we don't understand. It's not God, it's not Christ, and it's kind of setting the scene for that, which is not. I think it's just another lovely flavor. It's just a lovely. It counteracts the Christian aspects of medieval society, and which were very, very prominent, and it's bringing in that older. I'd say Celtic. It's not Saxon. It's more Celtic. It's more before the Saxons came along. It's more Brythonic or Brittonic. So it's not it's not Saxon. That was one of my real peeves about it. They were saying how the Normans brought Christianity and they're forcing everyone to be Christian. Everybody was already Christian. Everybody already loved Jesus. It's not a Norman invention, that Normans aren't bringing it to England. You could say William Conqueror's invasion was like a sort of crusade, because Harold Godwinson promised the throne to William, and they didn't give it to him, and then he said, Pope, what's this about? There were Viking kings of England before then, possibly still Christian. I'm pretty sure England was Christian before Normandy was Christian, because Normandy was kind of founded by Rollo, who was baptized and then made Duke of Normandy. And all his Viking mates came, and then they set up the Dukedom of Normandy. So I don't know. They're being forced to be Christian. They're not being forced to be Christian. They're already Christian. So maybe instead of there being the old gods, like a bit Game of Thronesy, I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to make it reminiscent of that. And there's a lot of reminiscent stuff involved as well. The old gods and this new Christian idea. I think instead of that, it could have been, we're Saxon, we don't have a standing army. We're not warlike like you guys are. We have to go home and tend to the harvest and deal with the kids. And yeah, we might fight if someone's invading us, but we're not all like, woo, because they had the housecarls. The housecarls were like the personal or the elite warriors that would do the fighting and were the main force of the infantry, I guess we could say, 1066. So you could say there's a better argument for like Saxon or Celtic Christianity sort of being opposed by the Norman view of it, and the Normans are very warlike. William the Conqueror, the Doomsday Book, everything needs to be ordered, everything needs to be, no rebellion anywhere. But so I'm just like, that would have been a better argument. And then when he becomes Robin Hood, then he goes into the forest and he starts discovering all these other older gods. And maybe that's when he meets Friar Tuck, and Friar Tuck tells him about all these other gods. And maybe he says like, our God is just one of all these many ones. Anyway. But I still like it though. There's still such a good flavor to it. There's a wedding in there as well, and it's like a hand fastening wedding, which is lovely. They kiss under the mistletoe, and there's all these Celtic kind of things, and it kind of just really pushes the idea that we've lost something. We've lost something. This isn't the norm anymore. We've lost this, and I think that in of itself just lends it all to the story of the Normans being the reason why we lose things, the oppressive classes being the reason, the warlike people, the organized religion, all of that, the intolerance that system will bring. It's just a nice kind of like, even though I think they're doing it slightly wrong, it lends itself all to it. It is doing very well at creating its own world within it, creating its own world. Oh, what else can I say about it? To be honest, I loved it. my trailer review was so scathing. It was so angry. I got so upset about everything. And watching it, I'm like, oh, you got the father-son dynamic. Oh, I wanted to talk about his mum too. Like, I'm so glad they included the mother, because you never really hear about her in any adaptation. Maybe you could say medieval England. She died through childbirth, which was very common, which would have been horrendous. But we've not got the chance to actually kind of explore or deep dive into the relationship with his mother. It's always been about the father, or Robin Hood's always just been there. But we get to see her. She started speaking French at one point, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, that's a Norman thing to do. Why are you speaking French? Is she a Norman? She better not be a Norman. Like, Maid Marian's already a Norman. There ain't no being a Norman here." But then, knowing that Maid Marian's a Norman, it's kind of like, oh, his mum speaks French. He's used to speaking French with his mum. He knows French. Oh, he can then kind of interact with Maid Marian. He understands a lot of whatever. Like, he can bridge that gap. There seems to be a type of thing where his dad wants his land back. Robin wants to be accepted by his dad. His mum's speaking French to him because it's the language of the court, obviously. And because they were dispossessed, they were Saxon, they were dispossessed, they would have learned French. They would have spoken French in the court. Not so sure they would have been lords at this point, especially up north. But it was just nice because we hadn't really seen, like I said, the relationship between the mother and Robin Hood. I think it's almost more of an important relationship because, like, maybe the loss of his mother or something going on there, that's the real big push to become Robin Hood. To actually, I can provide what I can't get from my mother anymore because I don't have my mother anymore to these people by being Robin Hood. So there's a lot of things like that make sense. For example, I think he has an argument with his dad. And he rushes out of the house as a boy and he grabs his bow and arrow, as we all have done. I've done this. And he just starts shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. And then you're thinking, oh, he gets good at archery because he's trying to prove it to his dad that he can be good and he can be best. And his dad's always thinking about the land, but he's never really sort of thinking about Robin. He wants to prove to his dad, he wants to be in his dad's eyes, and he wants to be. But then it's his therapy as well. So he loves. And then we're going to see how he's used this. He's found sanctuary and he's been saved through this. And he's going to use this to help and save other people. I think just including that little scene of him having an argument with his dad and him going to the back garden and shooting his bow is going to set up everything else because it's just so much more human. You can just see, you can see people doing that back then. You can see people doing it now. It happens now. And it helps the audience kind of will Robin on to become Robin Hood. They want it to happen because it's kind of set up as his salvation, not only everybody else's. We haven't met any other characters yet. I mean, we've met Maid Marian. We got Sean Bean. Oh, Sean Bean. I'm sorry I judged you. I'm sorry I doubted you. I just thought maybe it's not going to work, but Sean Bean delivers. He has renewed my faith in him. I've always been a Sean Bean fan. Sharp, Lord of the Rings. He was in James Bond. He was in Masters of Venice or Florence Medici. Thank you, Sean Bean, because he's not playing a villain. He's playing a normal person that just has to abide by the law. He's ruthless, yes. He's maybe a bit of a prick, yes. But I mean, he's meant to be the villain, but he's not playing the villain, which is nice. It's subtle. It works. There are other characters that are more villainous than him. He doesn't need to be a villain. And I think the Hooded Man actually said something in his video that, the Sheriff of Nottingham wouldn't have been a military man. He would have been sort of a pencil pusher. He would have been an administrator of justice, So Sean Bean, I take my hat off to you. And we get Will Scarlet. Will Scarlet's there. He's called Will because everyone needs a punchy name, Rob, Will. His mum's called Joan because, Joan of Arc, she speaks French, she's a strong female character, she needs a strong female character name, Joan.